Thanks for coming in the studio today, Steve.
Thank you for having us.
So, this is obviously the first time I've met you. We've talked on social. You're good friends with Glenn, a good friend of mine. And so today we've got you in to talk about your life, of how you became a professional boxer. But I want to go right back, Steve. I want to go right back to when you were a kid. I want to see what sort of childhood you had, upbringing. So if you can just go back, Steve, to what you were like as a kid and what sort of childhood you had and how you grew up.
It's funny because I hear stories of how naughty I was and the things I'd done, and I had my mum used to have us on one of them, them dog leads. You don't see many kids with them now, but so you couldn't run away. She
like
said
I was.
So she says I was just away wherever I was away, and I was always hype. I was always, the naughty one in school. I was always the one that had to be the centre of attention, not realising, obviously, until I got diagnosed with ADHD, not realising what this was for, and it was. We didn't, as a family, as what have you, we were brought up in an everyday council estate. The 90% of the people who were brought up in the area are either passed away, homeless, drug addicts. They don't really go on to do anything. But
where you from? Which area?
It's an area called Bleach Green and Bladen. Right. That's all been knocked down now. It all got boarded up, all got shipped out and moved on, and in the area all got
and how many years were you there, from what age?
From being born up until 20. The area was knocked down in 2010. So it was, like I say, you sort of, it's very cliche in boxing. You hear a lot of boxers like, oh, if I didn't fight, I wouldn't be where I am now.
Yeah.
I had to go out and fight, and I had to do this, and that's not my story. I haven't got a cliche story of football was my escape. I was fortunate enough to be good at football, and football was my focus.
So did you do that from a young age as well? Football? Did you play for clubs
football,
as well?
Played football from pretty much at a high level, at academies, for the district, for the county, and it was always my escape from getting into what everybody else was getting into. Friday and Saturday nights they would go to the Green Gates Park, and they would have the bongs, they would have the buckets, there would be drinking, and all I wanted to do was go down the youth club and play football, or kick a football around with my mates. And you didn't have mates that wanted to do that on a Friday and a Saturday. And come a night time, I was sort of put out there because no one else wanted to do that. So I'd be sat sort of playing by myself, pissing about by myself, down the youth club, or sitting at the bus shelter, sitting playing football, and that was the only thing that I wanted to do. All I wanted to do. So
you wanted to be? Did you want to be professional at the time, or did you just love football? That was it.
I wanted to obviously get as far as I could in football, because I was sort of told that I wouldn't do anything in school. I was sort of. I knew I wasn't the brightest kid in class. I knew I wasn't the smartest kid in class, and I sort of thought, well, if I want to do anything, I want to be a footballer. And everybody has a dream as a kid, and I was fortunate enough to later on in my life travel the world, which we'll get into, with that dream. And had I wouldn't be where I am now. Probably had I have took the path that a lot of the people who have ended up passed away, unfortunately, or are suffering, with drug addiction now, or or in hostels or in prison, that probably would have been me. So
what were you like in school? Did you actually only like football, or did you like to be at school around friends, or did you like to do any of the subjects, classes you do at school?
It's funny because obviously up until in primary, I can't really remember primary school. I can just remember I think I was the first year 5 that captained his football team, because obviously you had year 6s as well. And as I say, I was always a step ahead of everybody in football up until I hit about 15, and then I didn't progress as much as I would like to. But I was always a little step ahead of everybody with football. But because of my behaviour, my punishment was, you're not playing football on Saturday. You're not playing football on Saturday. You're grounded. You're not doing this. You're not doing that. And, kids now, they get grounded. Oh, great. I sit on my iPad. I play Roadblocks. I play my PlayStation 5. I've got Sky. I've got the internet. The kids aren't asked about being grounded anymore. I'm only going back 12, 15 years. And if I got grounded, it was the worst thing in the world. Like, it was awful. And you still had your PS2s or your PS1s, and you still had things, to do and to play with. But all I wanted to do was be out and kicking the football and playing football. But as I say, from where I was from, kids didn't want to play football. Kids didn't, you got from sort of 7 o'clock till 8 o'clock down the youth club, which was quite busy. And then after that, especially on a weekend, they just wanted to be out, doing what 14, 15-year-olds do. And as I say, it was hard for me, because sort of I hit the what you call the puppy fat stage when I was sort of I was very athletic up until I was about 12. And then 13, 14, I was a kid with glasses. And when I was about 14, I started to put on weight, but I was fit fat. Like, I was fit as if I trained.
Were you tall or then?
Nah.
So what type of height were you? 'Cause what are you now? You're around 6'7".
I'm 6'7", so I ended up in 2020. In 2010, I ended up in America playing football. And I was there for 9 months. And I remember coming home, and my mum and dad picked us up from Manchester Airport, and they walked past us. I had this mad growth spurt. My hair went white with the sun. I was really, really tanned, and I just had this mad growth spurt. I went from sort of maybe 6'1" to about 6'5" in the space of 9 months. I don't know if it was photosynthesis with the sun, or I don't really know what it was, but it was sort of it just people. I had so bad pains with growth spurts. I didn't even realise that I had that growth spurt until obviously I got home, and everyone was like, "Jesus, where's that come from?" type thing.
Yeah, where you been, fucking Grow Island or something?
Yeah, aye. Gulliver's Island. But yeah, so like I become the fat kid, which being the kid who I sort of didn't really fit in at school, and the only way of fitting in was being a little bastard, being naughty, being the centre of attention.
Did you get bullied or out like that at school?
No, fortunately I didn't, because one, I think everyone was a bit wary of where I was from, because everyone took the piss out of the area. Bleach Green, or
it's a rough area.
And two, I think because in my head I had to say, well, I'm not the coolest kid. I haven't got money, so the kids were turning up with Merritt Peaks. The kids were turning up with Rockports. I would have a fake Henry Lloyd coat or a Lacoste coat from the guy down the street that sold the knockoff gears, and my Lacoste coat had a metal badge on, and everyone took the piss. And when I say took the piss, I don't mean bullied like, oh, you little tramp. I just mean like, they'd laugh because I'd have fake clothes on, and I didn't have the Rockports. I didn't have them, the money. I couldn't spend money going out for dinner with, all the kids from school would go to McDonald's for the dinner, because McDonald's at the bottom of the street, or they'd go to the fish shop, and I'd get like 50 pence a day, and I'd go and get a sausage roll, or I'd go and I'd get a bag of crisps, then sort of because I got free school dinners, it was like my mum and dad give us the best they could with what they had. and you know, I'll always appreciate everything they've done. But unfortunately, they didn't have the money other kids had to be able to fund, you know, a lifestyle of going to McDonald's every day and having your Berghouses and having your Rockports, and so it was always going to be tough from that side of things. And then with the ADHD, again, not being diagnosed, just teachers thinking I was just a little bastard, and which I am, but that's irrelevant. But wanting to be the centre of attention to, you know, make sure that I wasn't bullied. I was a class clown. I was laughed at. I got friends from being that person, and it was always, you know, there was older kids would take the piss, and that's when I sort of started fighting.
Just on like street fighting on the streets,
Yeah,
just getting into scraps.
Just getting into scraps. With the, you know, I'd be in year 9 and the older kids would take the mick, and it was sort of, it become sort of, I was fighting year 11s, and I got a bit of a reputation in school of a fighter. And I remember a kid called Larry. He was a boxer, and he was in year 11, and I think I was in year 8 or 9. And I'd called his girlfriend, and I remember him saying, "I want you after school." I remember leaving school and waiting for him. And I'll never forget the guy who I used to walk home with. I says to him, "Hold me glasses." I went up to him and I just swung this sort of big looping hand from nowhere and connected with him, and he just hit the deck. And from then, the next day in school, it was just the talk. Yeah. Everything was, you know, like, wow, it's just Larry, the boxer who's the hardest in the school, year 11's just being chinned off a year 8. And it was sort of from then on, and I'd get trouble in the house. There was a naughty boys' home where if you got sent to prison and you come out, it was a juvenile home, so anyone under 16. And again, I remember that was just up the road from mine. And I remember a kid called Richard. I think something had happened, and he come to my house for a fight, and my dad says, "Get out and fight him." And I was like, he's older, he's taller, he's just come out of juvie, but I don't want to fight him. My dad was like, "Go out and fight him." And again, I beat him, and I'm 90% sure I'd done something like a tombstone, or I'd done a wrestling move on him, and again it was like talk of the street, and you know, I went from being the talk of the school to the talk of the street, but all I was still then all I was focused on was football. I wasn't
not bothered about fighting.
Nah, I remember them saying there was a local boxing club in Bladen. And Rob Shaw owned it, and Rob had a few pro fights, and he was like, "Oh, come down to the local boxing club." And I wasn't bothered. I didn't want to.
Did you like it when you went in, or did you just fucking hate it going into the boxing gym the first time you went in?
I went into boxing to lose weight. I never went into boxing. I went into boxing at 24-year-old.
Yeah. Do you know, like, obviously I run a gym and I train fighters, professional. I mean, I know it's not boxing, K1 and kickboxing, but that's normally when someone comes to me and they say, "Oh, I want to be a fucking fighter, I want to be a fighter," and they're full of fucking ego, they never, honestly, the time them people don't stick out anyway. Yeah. They get brushed under the carpet or walk away themselves within 4 sessions. Max, I would say. It's the people who come and say, "I want to lose weight, I need to just get fit, I just want to do it for me. Oh no, I don't think I want to be a fighter." Yeah. They're the ones who I've noticed who are the ones who actually make it. And they're the ones that I've known who actually are the ones who put the time in. Because I think they don't have any expectations of themselves. So when, just say you say, "Oh, I want to be a fighter, I'll come in the gym." You go in, you're in a gym with fucking fighters, man, you're going to get your ass kicked. You ain't gonna, this yourself. You go in the gym with fighters, you're gonna get your ass kicked. As much as ego you've got and hard as you think you are in the street, it ain't gonna work in a gym of people that can fight. I think when you've got no expectations of that, and you go in the gym, I just want to lose weight, I want to get fit. one, you probably know, well, you do know you're going to get your ass kicked. You know that's part of the training. But because you haven't got the attitude as if I'm going to, when you spar and just say, this guy ain't got the ego and the attitude, the fighters probably ain't going to put it on you as much as well. So you're not going to get as much. When you've got an ego, that's when you start putting on people, thinking you're 10 men. But that's what I've found. That's probably why you've made it, Steve. Like in the boxing, from having that like sort of mindset going, I just want to lose weight, I just want to get fit. And I think from what I've seen in my own personal experience with people that want to do that, that's when they've normally succeeded as well.
You've hit the nail on the head with the word egos, and I've seen it. Like I say, stripping forward to sort of to when I walked in the gym. I walked in the gym and I got released. I got released from the football in Hong Kong for an ankle injury in 2014. That was September 2013.
Yeah.
I went up to 135 kilo. And I walked into Vision down in Swalwell, the local gym, in February 2014. And I says to the guy behind the desk, little did I know he was a professional boxer, Mark Clazell, who owned the gym, who's now my coach. I says to him, I'm after losing weight. What sessions you got? What's the best session? And he says, boxer size. And they'd done a body sparring class on a Tuesday night. I had this big black kid called Curtis who was going into the ABAs. And what they used to do with him on a Tuesday, they used to put him in the centre of the ring, and everybody that was there for fitness used to get around with him.
Bit like a Shark Tank for him.
And so, So I hadn't even laced a pair of gloves in my life. I'd never put a pair of boxing gloves on. I went in on the Tuesday, and I remember body sparring this Curtis, and I remember hitting him, and he'd lifted his knee up, and I didn't know I'd hurt him.
Yeah.
I didn't know what was going on, and he went on the corner. He lifted his knee up, and obviously we're just doing what I had no style. I didn't know what I was doing really, and the class finished, and then I remember Mark coming up and was going, what's your background where? And I was like, I haven't got a background. Like, I don't know. And Mark says to us, he says, I'd love you to, because at this time I was just doing boxercise.
Yeah.
I was just going to with 40-year-old women doing aerobics with dumbbells and hitting the bag. And then Mark was like, we've got an amateur class, half 7 till half 9. Half 7 till 9. I'd like you to start coming. And I'd been for about 3 weeks. And I think from the football, from straight on, I was dedicated. I wanted to give it me all. There was no half-heartedly going in. It was like, I'd been told I wasn't going to play football. I'd been released now off 3 clubs. I knew I wasn't going to be a Premiership footballer. I knew that dream had gone. I hadn't got GCSEs.
Yeah.
So I'm working in, IKEA, doing what I hate in boxing, part-time, sort of just loving it, but I knew I was going to give it me all, never expecting to be where I am now. And I think I'd been there for 4 weeks.
Are you still with the same trainer?
I'm still with the same trainer.
Did he see, because normally you can see it, if there's a special one, you can normally see it when they're going to hit the higher level. I think did he see it in you? Did he? You must have spoke about this.
So I'd been there for about 4 weeks, and I didn't even own a pair of gloves. I didn't even own a head guard. I didn't even own a gum shield. And he says, I'm going to put you into spar on Tuesday night. We're sparring nights, or Tuesday, Thursdays, and Saturdays. And I was like, I don't know if I want to spar. Like, I'm not really bothered about sparring. I'm unfit. I wish I could get some photos of the size I was. I remember wearing a green vest, and Mark's got them. I remember wearing a green vest, and I went to Sports Direct and I bought these 20 quid brown gloves. They were absolutely horrendous. I got a £8 gum shield, some £3 Lonsdale wraps, some £13 boxing shorts, and I think I must have spent about 60 quid, which was half my IKEA wage. You know, on looking like a boxer from Wish. And I walks in and Curtis, the guy who I body sparred, he was obviously a little bit mentally hurt that had happened 4 weeks earlier. Again, I didn't even know that I had made him wins. The whole leg thing, Mark was telling us at the end, he was like, you had him hurt there. That's why he lifted his leg. I was like, all right, great. Not really
bothered,
caring or thinking much of it. And I remember going in and against this Curtis, and Curtis was fighting in the ABAs, and I was unfit, I was fat, I was unhealthy, never been in a ring in my life. I'm wearing 60 quid's worth of boxing gear. I remember this Curtis coming in and just going bang, bang, hit us with a 1-2, and I was just like, all right, now I'm just swinging with no style, swinging, just bang, bang, nose pissing the blood, eyes are black, me lips, bang, 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 just hitting us. I'm just hitting them back. I'm there. And 2 rounds had passed, and Mark was like, right, jump out, Stephen. He was like, you're taking too much. And I was like, absolutely fucking not. I'm staying here. You said I'm doing 4 rounds. I'm doing 4 rounds. And he was like, no, you need to go and wipe your face. I was like, there's blue roll there, wipe my face. I'm not leaving this ring. I'm staying in this ring. And I stayed in the ring for the 4 rounds, and it was then on, Mark was like, right, his mindset is, he's got a lot to learn, but his mindset is there. And me and Mark spent a lot of times drilling the jab, doing this, doing that, and you know, after class, before class. You know when you see a successful footballer and they say, I'm successful because I was there an hour before and I was there an hour after, practicing free kicks, practicing this, practicing that. You hear it with Scholes, you hear it with Beckham, you hear the stories, and that's what me and Mark were like. And the next time I sparred Curtis, I got a little bit of my own way. Then the next time I was getting better. Then the next time I was getting better. And it had been about 6 months and I went in for my first fight. I walked in the February, I had my first fight, I think September, when the season started again, 2014. I was up Bishop Auckland Social Club, and I fought this guy who was 4-0, and it was like, I think I was 133 kilo, he was 100.
Was this the amateur boxing,
Amateur.
Yeah.
He was 146 kilo, massive traveller. And I was a bit like, this is I know I'm not going to be a footballer, I'm going to be a boxer. And that's when the buzz of, I had 30 people there, and you know, I'm walking down to the ring in this social club, and my mates are shouting, and I knocked him out in the second round, and the buzz of the referee lifting my hand. That was September 2014. I just thought, that's it.
Yeah, there's no better feeling, is there? Even when you do it with your fighters that win. That's what I was just about going to say there. No, when you've done your football and you'd won a match, is that same feeling the same as getting your hand raised?
I had, funnily enough, someone asked us this the other day, and they said, "What?" I remember it was for the Dunstan Fed, and I remember saving a penalty, and the manager saying to me, take the penalty, and someone will say to me, what's the best feeling you've ever had? I remember saving the penalty because I was a goalkeeper. I remember saving the penalty, and then the manager saying, take the next penalty, because if I scored, we won. And I remember scoring and everyone running on, and you know, this was in front of 400 people, and I thought, this will never be beaten, this will never ever be beaten. And then boxing at the arena, I went to as a kid and watched Robot Wars when I was 4 years old, and Gladiators, and remembering the times I've had with me family at that arena, and then actually boxing there in front of 10,000 people screaming and cheering your name. It was just like, it's still so surreal to me, because as was said at the start of the podcast, I'm still in my head just that fat kid with glasses that was told he'd mount to nothing. And every day I do something like
That's the biggest motivation you'll have, that though, you know.
100%.
If once that goes, you know, that's when you need to worry.
Yeah.
Because once that goes, that can fucking change everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, because then
That's when your
your fucking ego kicks in.
Yeah,
It's good to have a little bit of an ego.
Yeah.
But it's how you use it, you know what I mean? But when that little thing goes, obviously that's what gets you going. That's what gets you out of bed in the morning.
Yeah.
That's what gets you training. That fat kid with the glasses on, that's what makes Stephen Robinson.
Oh, definitely. And it's funny because I walk through the local town centre, or I walk through the Metro Centre, which I've done for 28 years since I've not been on my dog lead. And people will come up, "Oh, can I have a photo? Can I have your autograph?" I'm sitting thinking, why would you want my photo? Like, I'm here every day. I live 5 minutes away from the place, and it's still, like I say, everything's surreal, and everything I do now is for that normal kid who's told you'll become nothing, you'll do nothing with your life. The kid who's a little bit naughty in school, the kid who's diagnosed with autism or diagnosed with ADHD or is kicked out of school or wears glasses or is fat and is bullied and doesn't believe in himself. Like, everything I do, I just want to say to them kids, just honestly, believe in yourself, believe in your heart and head, and you'll do it.
So Steve, the boxing, do you know you used to play football and you used to get the buzz? Did you feel, I mean, sorry, not the buzz, the drive inside as being like feeling good? Did you get that same, did you get the more of the feeling as being a boxer? Do you know what I mean? Like having that self-confidence, that self-discipline. I know you had the self-discipline with the football, but did you feel it more as being a boxer? Because what I'm saying is, sometimes what I believe is when you play in football and you're a team, and even if you win, right? So if we're a team and there's like 11 of us playing football, I might do shit, but I still win. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? I might do shit, but I still win because they've carried me. The other people have sort of carried me or helped me with that win. So I might not, even though I've won, is that feeling the same as when you... Because the reason I'm saying this, I haven't really played football because I was never very good at it. Only like on the field and stuff. But I've had that feeling as well. I've had my hands raised of being a fighter and knowing, right, I fucking worked hard for that. There's no better feeling that can feel this. Even the way it makes me feel, not just the win, the way it makes me feel. Like having that confidence that I can defend myself, having that confidence that I can... Just the self-discipline of getting up every day, and even not even just going to the gym, just doing other things because of having that discipline, because of the being a fighter. Can you feel the difference between them and the football, between both?
It's funny because they always say the loneliest sport in the world is boxing.
Yeah.
And they also say the loneliest position in football is a goalkeeper, because you've just hit the nail on the head. You do a mistake as a central midfielder, you've got 10 other players to help you out. You do a mistake as a defender, 10 other players to help you out, or the goalkeeper.
Yeah.
You do a mistake, you miss a shot, you're going to get that other shot. Whereas you do a mistake as a goalkeeper, you've got that. That could be the mistake that loses you the game. You know, you do a save, that's a save that could win you the game.
Yeah.
So everything is there's so much more pressure on a goalkeeper than what you see in a penalty shootout. If the goalkeeper, saves one penalty, but the other players have scored, who gets a celebration?
Well, let's be honest. I'm not a massive football fan, but when I do watch penalties, I do actually love penalties. I could just watch that. When you see the footballer alone, like the whatever position he plays, when you see them go to take the goal, there seems to be a more pressure on them. Do you reckon that, I know there's pressure by taking that goal, but because they haven't got the teammates with them, it's singly. What they're doing that second is solely on them.
Yeah.
As being a boxer, what you do is always on you.
Always on you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But because if that player wasn't taking that penalty, he was playing as a team player, then he can blame somebody else. He can point the finger and say, "Oh, you weren't there, you weren't here." Yeah. And I'm not disrespecting football in any way here, because people love it. Know what I mean? It's the biggest sport in the world. But to me, I'm just trying to get behind, because you've done both at a decent level. I know you're a professional boxer now, so it's more. So I'm just trying to dig in and see the difference in feelings for people listening.
No, definitely. I like you say, you see, and they say there's no pressure like going to take a penalty, and you're walking in front of 70,000 people at a
Going
World
to get your
Cup
head punched
final.
in a fight sometimes.
And it's similar to a fight. You've got nobody there to help you. You do one mistake, you're knocked out. You do one mistake, you could be dead. In football, you haven't got the pressure of you make a mistake, you get knocked out. You make a mistake, you've possibly lost for your team. So the difference is...
And the criticism that comes, like we're talking now, that the criticism that comes with like a football match, say, they can start saying, oh, this fucking player done that, he done that. When it's you, they don't look at anyone, they just look at the fighter and say, oh, he's fucking shit now, he's shit, he should give up or whatever. Like, it's so easy to pick faults when you're looking at something narrow-mindedly like that. And that's what I think, that's what a lot of people don't understand. But like, obviously I can see it from both sides, from being the fighter and the coach. But other people who maybe play like a team sport, maybe it's there, I don't know if they can see that side of it, like of thinking, because when everything's directed on your team, it's so easy to point fingers, oh, you done this, you done that, and then for them to point back and put the blame on somebody else. When you're a boxer, you're either like try and defend what they're saying, or you say, look, I fucking done shit. But even when you say, look, I done a shit fight, like I can do better than this, even when you do that, you'll still get people still pointing that finger. Yeah.
Of course you will, and it's funny with criticism, because I don't think there's any sport like it with boxing. The trolls, the criticism, and people will go to me. I get messages every day. I've had one wishing my daughter had cancer. I haven't even got a daughter, by the way, but they'll see a photo of me and my niece, and they'll jump on and they'll go, I hope she gets cancer, I hope she dies. Just thinking, what
fucking sort of person would even say that?
But you've just, as you say, what person? And when people say to me, do you not just want to fucking punch their heads in? Do you know? I want to message them and say, are you all right? Like, what's wrong?
Yeah.
Because these people are that lonely. These people are that directed to insult others, to hurt others, because their life's lonely.
Their life's shit.
Their life's shit. They're hurting. Yeah. So by them posting that and getting 3 likes on their post, gives them that satisfaction, that buzz, and then people jumping on going, yeah, I agree with you, yeah, this, yeah, that. Yeah. Hey, Eubank Jr. was the best boxer, of the era two weeks ago. Now he's shit. Roy Jones is shit. He's trying to do this, he's trying to do that. No wonder his dad left him. And you think, and you go, Anthony Joshua, an Olympic gold medalist, 2 times heavyweight champion, two years ago was the best boxer. He's amazing. What he's doing for the kids of Marcus Rashford in football terms. Best player in the world. He's doing everything for kids, and he's helping kids with school dinners. He's doing great for poverty. Then he misses a penalty. He's a BLA. The most racist hate towards him on his social media, and you think, how can these people who are sitting in, probably the mom's spare bedroom, sitting on an iPad.
None of them, they won't achieved anything in their life. None of them took a risk. Yeah, they're probably not even working at them. They probably just sit on that computer all day.
Which is why I think they're they're just lonely people who don't need their heads caved in, or don't need a message back going, who are you talking to? You're pretty, like, they need help. They need help because they're in a position of probably mental health, and they've been hated on, and they're hurt for whatever reason, that they project their hate and their hurt onto others. And we're in an era where people who you would have never thought are taking their own lives, people from, things like Love Island and, massive example, Robin Williams, who people thought, every role he played was a happy role. Yeah. Mrs. Doubtfire, he was always the kid flubber. He was always the guy who was happy, who was laughing, who was cheerful. And everyone, we're at a point and people go, why did he kill himself? He had money. He was an actor. People don't realise how much shit that these people get behind the scenes. Sports, singers, actresses. We've seen it with Jessie from Little Mix. She had to leave Little Mix because of the hatred. She's now bulimic because of the hatred. Adele's now the skinniest she's ever looked because of the hatred. And you look at these people who you would expect and suspect are never receive criticism or just not think anything of it. They receive a message on Instagram and, all right, so what? But it obviously mentally does do something to you without realising. And these people sending these messages are awful people.
You even get people, I still get it on my post. Sometimes they'll comment and just because I've posted something out and they don't agree with me, I don't even know these people. No. And then they'll put a comment on saying, oh, whatever, oh, we don't agree, blah. And I'm like, oh, they're making it they're trying to make it like a fucking trolling match. And I'm like, if you don't agree with what I say, scroll past, follow me. Yeah. What would even make you? Because I would never just go on someone's post and think, you fucking daft cunt or whatever, for whatever reason. I wouldn't do it. If I don't like what I see, I'll just scroll past it.
Of course you do.
I don't know why that person might be going through shit, and that's why they've put whatever they've put. Yeah. You just don't know what someone's going through, and it's just mad how someone would just give you trashy shit, or me, or anyone. It's just mad how people can just go about their day-to-day life and be happy even doing that. Well, they're not happy either. That's why they're doing it.
Yeah, they want to project their hurt and their hate onto others because they're sad, they're lonely, they would only dream. These same people that would message that would message Rashford or would message, Saka when he missed the penalty in the World Cup, or Southgate or Anthony Joshua. If they see him in the street, they'd ask for an autograph, they'd ask for a photo. They wouldn't say, I was the kid that messaged you on Instagram and said you're a fucking prick.
Yeah.
They wouldn't do it. And this is why, I just don't let it get to us. Yeah. I've never read a comment on YouTube on any video. I've never read, me comments are switched off on social media because it's just unnecessary hate to my,
to put in your positive mindset. It's just you don't need it, do you? You don't need that in your life. Yeah.
I'm happy to live in my own little bubble.
It's mad that you would even sort of have to do. Well, it's your choice to do it. It's mad that you would have to do that, but I can understand why you would do it, because why do you need to put something up that you're trying to be positive with to help other people's lives, whether it's from your success or not? You're still helping other people by showing them you can come from nothing. I was just basically like a fat kid at school. I had glasses on. I didn't have no ability to be a boxer. If I can do it, you can do it. Because there's people out there with more, I feel like, abilities than probably what you did, who could make it. But it's their choice whether they want to put the work in, because it's all down to that effort and work you put in and the commitment. Because we can all say, oh, we'd have done this and would have done that. But
I think it's a massive as well with the people you've got around you, because you find out your true friends and you find out who's there for you when you've failed. When you're not. It's funny because now my two nieces, they were at Irish dancing last week and she brought a medal in, and I was like, oh, so where did you come? It was a participation medal. And I says to me, Mum, this is the problem. You get a participation medal now. Like I say, I'm only going back 20 year, 18 year, 16 year to when, we would never get a medal for and you're getting a medal for participating, you're getting a medal for being somewhere, you're getting a medal. And these kids, they don't know what it's like to fail. Growing up, it's you've succeeded. Well done for taking part, well done. So why do they want to go to that next step? Why do they want to become better at Irish dancing when they get a medal for being taking part? Why do they want to become a better footballer when they get a medal for taking part? What you've won a game, you get a medal. You've lost a game, you get a medal. You get a medal for going to a tournament and coming last. Where does it come? Where for me to fail is where you find out who you really are, and that's why I say the people around you. Because you look at the people who know me as Stephen Robinson, and people know me of Stephen Robinson, the Sky Sports boxer, and they couldn't give a shit of when I'm at rock bottom or I'm feeling like shit. They just want to know me when I'm succeeding, and you see your true friends when you stop going on the drink, when you stop wanting to go out every weekend. And I think for me, there's too many people wanting to entertain others and be be part of the climate of going out every weekend, sniffing drugs, drinking, and they don't want to put their mind into something because they feel like they're going to miss out, or the pals are like, oh, you're fighting in 3 weeks. That's fine, man. Just come out tonight. It's my birthday. Man? What you're missing my birthday, and you'll get that pressure of, okay, I'll come out. I'll only have a few. And then the next thing, you're coming home on a Monday afternoon, and your bags are packed off your missus. And I think that's a massive. The people you've got around you are the ones that help you succeed.
Yeah, you need that discipline, right? Where you shouldn't be going. If you're a professional, anything, you shouldn't be going out and living that sort of lifestyle because your main goal should be that goal.
Or wanting, you're not even a professional.
Wanting to become a professional,
or wanting just to better yourself.
Yeah, you need to act in that way so it becomes like constantly like the way your brain would just wake up on the morning, so you would constantly just get into that mode of being that person.
You see it with the army. Like, I remember going on holiday with someone in the army, and he'd wake up, doesn't matter what time he got in, he'd wake up, he'd do his bed, his clothes would be hung up, his shoes would be at the end of the bed, so he got up, he jumped, he got his clothes, he ironed them, he'd done his bed, but it's just drilled into them. That's all he knew. That's all he knew for 10 years of his life. And he's still now, 14 years of being out of the army, still wakes up, does his bed, has his shoes at the bottom of his bed, goes and gets changed, irons his clothes, and it's like, because it's just drilled. And it's like, as a sports person, you've got, it doesn't matter how shit you feel, how tired you are, who's going out on the weekend, you've just got to think, but I want to be someone, I want to do something with my life. I don't want to be that person who's out every weekend and getting kicked out off me missus and arguing and being skinned for the rest of the month because I've spent it on drugs and alcohol. And I want to be able to better myself, to better my future, be healthier. But unfortunately, as I say,
inspire young kids from, like you say, from any area, but like areas like yours, council estate areas, kids who haven't really got much, and show them that there is a way out. Because there's people that get out and there's people that can do it, but you need to put the work in. The main thing is you need to want to do it yourself. If you ain't got that, I want to do it deep down inside of you, then you'll never achieve anything. You need that. Steve, let's talk about a bit like your professional career now, like going on to that. Oh, that's what I was going to say. So before we do go on that, one of your fights you had when we were talking about people around you, this, I know for a fine fact that you're going to say is true. So the fight you lost, and everyone will have been critical, saying, oh, he's washed up, he's finished, or he was not what he's supposed to be, blah, 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 Steve's shit now. Like, as people say, the fucking critics. When you lose, I bet you didn't have the people who messaged you at that time, when you lost, that is the people who have got your back when nobody else is there. Whether it's 2 people or 10, they're the people. When you win, every fucker wants to be your mate. Everyone wants to be around you. Everyone wants, it's like the fucking golden egg, isn't it? He's the golden egg. Everyone wants to be around him. He's the fucking man. Oh, you're going to be the champion of the world. You lose. He's shit. He was always shit. I always said he was shit. Like, it's easy to say that. Yeah. So you must have had that when after that fight. You must have had it.
Oh, definitely, and as I say, there's people who know Stephen Robinson, and there's people who know Stephen Robinson, the boxer, and there's always going to be them people who just want to be part of the ride, and what they're called in bands, is it? These people who follow bands around.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah,
there's always going to be them people, and as I say, you've got to keep your circle small with especially boxing, because you've got to have the people to pick you up when you're at rock bottom. And I was at rock bottom before that fight. It's a fight I should have never took. It's a fight I should have never been in. I was at rock bottom 2 weeks before the fight, so after losing the fight, I didn't realise was any lower than rock bottom, and that's when you find your true self, your true friends, and that's why I'm saying you have to fail to succeed. You have to know what it's like to fail, and the way you bounce back, the way you come back off that failure defies you as a person. And obviously,
I think you need losses to be stronger.
Definitely,
you need them. Yeah,
definitely.
If people, you need failures in your life, don't you, to be better.
Of course you do.
If you just win all the fucking time, are you even trying?
No.
You just win all the time.
It's funny because everyone. There was a thing the other week, and it was Eubank Senior. He was doing a talk, and obviously everyone's keep posting these videos of Eubank Senior, and he's off it. He's lost the plot. He's clearly taking drugs. He's clearly drinking, and people are laughing and stuff. And when I see it, I absolutely hate to see him like that.
Yeah, I do. I don't like to see him like that.
And it's the same as with Paul Gascoigne. Like, people send videos and stuff on these groups and laughing the head off at him, taking penalty at like a Tamwa type thing, affair, and being, and things like that. I hate to see. I hate to see people who have had everything and thrown it all away be at that state. And he had said Floyd Mayweather isn't the greatest boxer because he had never failed. He had never had to come back from failure, so he can't be the greatest boxer. And I thought, that's just stupid. He's not failed because he's the greatest boxer.
Yeah, he's a superior athlete then.
But at the same time, I see where he's coming from. So his point was a bit like, well, he's stupid. It was a very similar to the Donald Trump thing that gets blown out of proportion. We need to take bleach. He hadn't said that. He said, what's in bleach that kills COVID? Can we not take that out and inject it?
Yeah.
But that then got spun of Donald Trump said we should be drinking bleach. And it was similar to what's Eubank Senior said. What he said was making sense. Floyd Mayweather's never had to bounce back. Yes, he's the greatest boxer of all time because he hasn't lost, but neither had Joe Calzaghe.
Yeah.
And you look and you think, but how would he have bounced back? Had he have lost that fight with, I think it was Cotto, when it was a shocking decision. Had he have lost that, would he be where he is now? Would he be the success he is now? Would he have still been, a unified world champion at
I think he
weights?
still would have.
So do I.
Yeah, he's just his mindset. That man is a different breed, man.
And what I'm trying to say is that Eubank, was sort of saying you have to fail to succeed.
And
you
I
have
believe
to know
that.
what it's like to succeed. And Mayweather's never failed.
Yeah.
He's never failed because he's unbelievable, and it's just unfortunate that he's beat everybody.
Yeah.
But how would he have bounced back had he have failed? It would have been interesting to see.
To see, yeah.
Same as with Calzaghe when he fought Roy Jones. What had he have lost that? How would he have come back?
Yeah.
These people who have built up, and Tyson Fury, had he have lost that first Deontay Wilder fight, would he have gotten the rematch? Would he have ended up, knocking him out, beating him, and being where he is now? And I say it's interesting to the comment of you have to fail to succeed. Because I do believe when you do fail, you find your true friends and you find your true identity of being a fighter, as a fighter, to want to show what you're made of. And that's why we took the fight we took, because I wanted to show that was just a bump in the road.
Yeah.
And that's we'll get on, obviously, what happened next. But, yeah.
Well, you obviously, I watched the last fight that you had. Some people were saying you were swinging a bit wild, but I thought, in my opinion, watching it, I thought he knows he's getting the job done now.
Yeah, listen, we're alpha males. We are the top of the top predators, and it's fight or flight. I've seen red. I've hit him with an uppercut left hook. And the plan was always, Nick Campbell comes out. I had said in the press conference 2 weeks earlier, I'll knock him out in the fourth round.
Yeah.
I had everything that I'd done for training. I knew that 3 rounds was, I've always been a slow starter.
Yeah.
Always. I'm happy to lose 2 rounds, 3 rounds, knowing that I'm gonna get out of there. And besides the Shane Gill thing, that's forgot about because of things going on behind closed doors, which is never and will never be spoke about. That's thrown out the window. I couldn't give a shit about that loss. But the plan was go on the back foot, he'll tire out. Then in the end of the third, starting into the fourth, pick it up.
Yeah.
So I've hit him with a body shot, and I've heard him go, oh, in the third round. That was about 2 minutes in. I've then hit him over with an overhand right at the end, and he's complaining to the referee. He had hit me behind the head. Yeah. After the fight, what was my head like, Glenn? After the fight, my head was black and blue, swollen to the hills behind my head. You're a fighter. Never once did I complain and say to the referee, punching us behind the head. This is what I don't understand with fighters. They get into the ring. It's in my head switches into I want to do everything I can to hurt him. It's Valhalla. Yeah. It's I don't want to kill someone, but it is kill or be killed. It's a gladiator at times. That's how as a fighter you should be. Yeah. You should be going into that fight, and I would never sit and complain to a referee that I'm being punched behind the head. Because in my head I'm in a fight. But it doesn't matter that it's in a ring in front of 1 million people on Sky Sports. It doesn't matter that it's in front of an arena of 4, 5, 6, 7, 8,000 people. You're in a fight. And I'm sure you're the same. It's you've either got that fighting mentality or you haven't got that fighting mentality. And I remember in the third round, he winced at the body shot. He complained I hit him around the back of the head, and I thought, he doesn't like this. And I jabbed him, and he moves off and shakes his head, and I thought, he really, really doesn't like this. Yeah. So in the fourth round, I'd only been on for about 30 seconds, and I took 2 of his jabs, which, to how the combination I've hoid, you have to get in. It has to be sort of, you have to take a couple.
Take the shot,
to get in there. Yeah. And I just missed him with the uppercut, and I just caught him with a left hook. I hadn't even hit him properly, and he's gone on his arse. Yeah. So I'm thinking, well, I've not hit him properly. He's gone off his arse. I know my fitness is there to come out all guns blazing. So my brain switches into fight mode. And was I swinging away? Probably. Did I look tidy? Probably not. But did I get him out
Job
of there?
Done.
Did I get my hand raised? Did I get a Sky contract off the back of it? Yeah. So I couldn't give a shit.
He was unbeaten, weren't he?
No, he'd never been down in sparring. He had never been down in a fight. He says he sparred world champions. He was part of the full Tyson Fury camp. He was part of the full Derek Chisora camp. He was part of the Joseph Parker camp. He had been sparring Bacoli leading up to my full fight. So he's been in with the best people in the world. He's never been down on his arse. He's never been hit like that. And I didn't even hit him, which is why when people were saying, oh, I think he wants a rematch, I thought, is he fucking thick? He's given me his best punches for 3 rounds. Yeah. I've took everything. 4 straight right hands, uppercuts, massive left hooks, cut my eye open. He didn't even move us. Commentator said, Stephen's hurt. Listen, I'll hold my hands up. I've never, touch wood, I've never been on my arse and I've never been hurt in sparring. Like Nick Campbell said, he had never been. I caught him once and not even properly caught him. Had that left hook have actually landed, I know fine well he'd still be asleep now. I glanced his chin. Just glanced his chin, and he wants a rematch with someone who hasn't even caught him flush. He's given us his best shots. I just think you're a knob. You're a knob for wanting that.
His corner were going to chuck the towel in.
Of course they were.
And that was said on Sky.
And I seen his cornerman jump up. So again, that makes you see more red. That his cornerman's jumped off with a towel, ready to throw it in. And then Nick Campbell grabbed, ex-rugby player, strong kid, grabbed well. So the 4th round, I was swinging away. And I'll openly admit that. And did I look tidy doing it? No, but I got the job done.
What's next for Stephen Robinson, and what is the goal?
It's... Everybody will sit and go, I wouldn't be where I am now. And I wouldn't be sacrificing what I sacrificed. I've missed stag do's. I've missed weddings. I remember boxing for England and missing, at the time, my girlfriend's sister's wedding, and there was hell on because we had the hotel booked, we had the in Cyprus, everything was paid for, and you know I've put so much into this. Now I haven't got GCSEs, so I know if I fail, I'm going to be, you know, working in a job that I'm not happy with, I'm not happy doing. So that's why I put so much into it. And without the people around us, without the sponsors, without, you know, me friends, me managers, me coaches, without everyone who keeps me grounded, who keeps me going, who keeps inspiring me to go forward. And again, I wouldn't have this, you know, I wouldn't be where I am now. So if I didn't believe that I could do something in the sport, I wouldn't be wasting their time and I wouldn't be wasting my time. And I'll still now say I'm not the tidiest fighter, and I'm never going to be the tidiest fighter. You can't, you know, teach somebody who's been boxing for 7 years and still never, still does what he does.
Well, there's a boxer out there who, the top level, Deontay Wilder, he gets so much shit freestyle as well, but he gets the job done, doesn't he? He gets the job done.
Of course he does, and he gets the job done effectively because he hits extremely hard.
Loses lots of rounds and then knocks him out.
Which he done against Ortiz. He lost all 9 rounds and then knocked him out. And people question Deontay Wilder's chin. His chin's never been tested.
I like him.
He's got a phenomenal chin.
I like him as a boxer.
He's
one of my favourites, to be
He's
honest.
come from another sport as well. You know, he's come from basketball. He got into boxing late and he's given it his all. And you look at him and what he's 36-year-old and he's still getting these title shots. So I look and I think I've still got 5 years. And then you look at the likes of Povetkin at 40-year-old beating Dillian White. And, you know, the likes of Pulev still getting a chat. 42-year-old Pulev when he fought Joshua last. There's still Derek Chisora still selling out arenas at 39. So people will go, oh, he's got into boxing late, he's too old to do anything. And I think, what, 9 years? You know, until I'm even this day and age with the nutrition and the science, you're not hitting your peak till 35, 36. Look at Ronaldo up until last year when he sort of drop off. You know, and as I say, you look at all your top heavyweights, they're all 35, 36. Now, gone the days where you have to turn pro at 22, be a world champion at 24, and you retire at 28, like Tyson, like Ali, because they didn't have the science. No, all they done was, right, you're doing road work, you're doing 10-mile runs, and then you're doing this, and then you've got they didn't have the gloves, they didn't have the, you know, the nutritionists and the science that we've got now. So, you know, I've got plenty of time to be, you know, a British champion, an interim champion, and even go further than that. Why not?
Why not?
Like I say, I'm not the tidiest boxer, but you'll need a bat to get me out of the ring and a body bag. And I've got more heart, and I've got better people around me than 99% of the people that are in that ring.
And that says a lot, doesn't it? That means a lot as well.
Of course it does. Of course it does. And like I say, every time I go in that ring, I know I'm giving 110%, and unless I'm getting dragged out of that ring in a body bag, I'm getting my hand raised and I'm knocking you out. And besides the loss, because people are coming to him, well, he lost against. He lost. People say a journeyman. Shane Gillard had one fight. He come from 180 bare knuckle fights in an amateur career and had one pro fight. So how can he be classed as a journeyman? He could have been on to become the next Sokolowski. He could have been Johnny Nelson, a world champion, lost his first 4 fights. Evander Holyfield lost his first 3 fights and become world champions. Nobody can sit and say anything about the person I lost against because nobody knows where he was going to end up and where's Shane Gill now. I'm again like the whole thing about me not talking about the Shane Gill loss, why it happened. Shane Gill's not fighting now. I'm not going to get into why he's not fighting, but that's for people to do the homework and find out themselves. But he's not fighting for a reason. After the back of my fight, he's not fighting anymore now. So there's something, you know, like I say, I do believe that I can go,
Yeah.
you know, to the
To
top.
the top, yeah. You have to believe that, Steve.
Of course you do.
Have to. Doesn't matter what anyone else thinks. You need to believe that you can achieve greatness in what you do. When you lace them gloves up, you go into Disney DRAGO mode, and you need to believe that you can be the champion of the world. If not, then why else would you put the fucking gloves on? Well, you're a professional boxer. Every professional boxer, whatever weight division they're in, you're a heavyweight professional boxer. Why would you not believe and want to believe in your brain that you can be heavyweight champion of the world?
Yeah.
Because if you don't fucking believe it and you don't see it, how can you ever achieve it?
Can you achieve
It's
it?
impossible, man.
Yeah.
You couldn't do it. You have to believe it. Whether it happens or not, that's another story. But your story now is to do everything possible to get on them steps and make everything possible to be the best boxer you can be, to make that dream come true.
It's the same as with you. Like you know, you're putting your time into coaching, and you fought. You've done what you know, and now you're passing your knowledge on to others. And you'll get somebody who come into the gym, and you know, you need to put your belief that you had and your knowledge into them and make them believe, and make them believe that they can do something with their lives. And you know, you as a coach, you become a mentor, a best friend, and you know, and people don't realise what a coach actually is, because you get these kids coming in, whether they be kids, whether they be adults, and for an hour, for 2 hours, they're shutting off from the world.
Yeah.
You're their escape, and they might not tell you that, but 90% of the people are there to escape from something. From home, from reality, from money issues, from girlfriend issues, from mom and dad issues, from house issues. They're there to escape, and you as a coach, you know, the hour, the 2 hours you've got them 3 times a week, you know that you're their saviour for them 2 hours. You're their best friend. You're their escape from whatever they're trying to escape from. And you know you need to be on your sort of game to know that your knowledge is being passed down to them as well.
Yeah.
And you know, without people like you who do it for no money, who do it to just want to better other people, like myself, you know, without Mark, without Giuseppe, I wouldn't be in the position I am. They didn't get money, they didn't gain anything, but like yourself, you've been at rock bottom, and you know, you've been at the top, and now it's your time to pass knowledge on and help others. And you know, I think everybody. No, the coaches get so overlooked at how important they are. It's always about the fighter, and you know, like similar with football. If a team isn't succeeding, it's a coach's fault. If a fighter fails, it's the fighter's fault.
Yeah.
It's never down to the coach. I don't know, unless you're at the top level. Anthony Joshua needs to sack him.
Do you know, you're talking about that? This guy actually gets a lot of his stick on social media. Is most search man Andrew Tate. We'll talk about him. My friend Amir from Storm Gym, he's Andrew Tate's coach, and you can tell even some of the stories he said, because he was like a father figure to Andrew. And even though Andrew's going for all this shit, he could easily just turn his back. Oh, it's fucking all this is getting said, this is getting said. But he doesn't, he chooses not to. He chooses to stand by him as a coach would, and a father figure. So like, I can only respect Amir for standing by one of his students, like who, no, he doesn't, Tate doesn't fight no more, no, he's a businessman, whatever's gone on, whatever anyone believes, he's still there as his coach, as a coach should, standing by him, like side by side.
Of course.
So for someone to do that, like, I think it says a lot about a person, for somebody to do that.
Definitely, and you know, you're I don't know how long you've been coaching for, but you're at you know, there might be a time where a kid comes up to you and goes, I'm getting abused. I'm this, I'm that. And it's down to you to react as a human.
Yeah.
You know, because you are the people's best friends, you are a mentor, you are a brother, a dad. You know, you become someone that you'd give your life to them kids, to them people. And Andrew Tate is exactly right in what he's saying, and Mia's exactly right in what he's doing, because he's been there when he's had nothing, and now he's up there, what does he... I remember Gary Beadle off Geordie Shore was all of our pals.
Yeah.
You know, he used to knock about where we used to go out where he becomes someone and he just turned his back on them all and become a prick. Whereas you've got other kids like Aaron, who is still just one of the lads, who's all, you know, all of our pals, and you know, I love the kid to bits. And unfortunately, you've got people who will turn their back on you and who will, but and then you've got the true people who will stay there through thick and thin, no matter what.
Because they're the people. The people that stay there through thick and thin, they're the ones who really deserve to share the glory days from either.
Definitely,
they're
definitely.
the people,
and they'll be with you. They'll be with you till the end. After you succeed, after you fail, they'll still be there to text.
Yeah, because they love you as a person. They don't just love you fucking waiting for what you do or what you do. You know what I mean? And it's hard, whether you're an athlete or anything, even in life. It's hard to judge them people sometimes, because a lot of people wear masks and they'll use you for what they can. But you need to be a good judge of character. You need to understand that some people might use you for what they can. And I think that's important for you to understand now, Steve, the stage. I know you do. You sound like you know what you're talking about when you've mentioned things without mentioning names of people. But you need to know that still talk to these people, but you just have to keep these people at arm's length. 100%. Because you don't need to be a dickhead and say, I know that person's really a fucking snake. Yeah. He's a fucking rat or whatever, or whoever it is. You don't need to say that. You can still be nice to people without expecting anything much back from them, but as long as you know that what that person's really, really like.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. I remember Glenn, who's, you know, my co-manager, one of my sponsors and one of my best mates. We come from, I remember the company we worked for, everyone stabbed him in the back when he went on to become someone.
Yeah.
And, you know, there was rumours going around, and I remember Glenn sent an email out. I don't know if you know this person, but something had happened. I think somebody had lost the mom or the dad. I can't really remember the ins and outs, but some kid had lost the mom, and Glenn sent an email out, and I think it was just a generic email, CC'd everyone. And I remember I only knew Glenn for 6-7 months, worked with him, you know, a few times in them times, and I remember him sending that email out. And it was just to raise money for Glenn being Glenn, trying to help others. You know, not even he hadn't even succeeded by this time. He was working the doors. I think he had a couple of doors. And I remember sending this email out, and I think I'd just come back from Hong Kong, and I didn't have a bank account. And I remember driving down to Middlesbrough and meeting him on the door and giving him, I think it was 50 quid for this kid. Yeah. And I think everybody at the company was working for just sort of ignored the email, and from then I just thought he's not even successful, he's not even got a load of money, but he's helping others. And then from then I think I knew Sonny Warren, and I think Glenn had just started his business, and Sonny had said to me, I think I'd said to Sonny, he's Frank Warren's nephew, and I'd said to Sonny, I've got a mate who's got a chauffeur company, so when you're coming up to the arena, he's got a chauffeur company, and I ended up passing him and Glenn on, and still me and Glenn only knew each other sort of through work. We weren't like as close as we are now. We're close, we just hit it off straight away at work, where you just gel with somebody, you know. I think we've both got sort of similar backgrounds, and I remember everyone at the company we're working for saying, he's only doing this because of this happened, he's only doing that because of that happened. Nobody seen how hard he's working. Nobody had sort of went, fucking fair play. And I remember arguing with people saying, it's irrelevant where the money's come from, what he's doing. He's put that into something else. He's helping others. He's doing things for others. He's getting people into employment. And the people that were stabbing him in the back now fucking work for him. Yeah. And that goes to show. And you know, now he's not only is he my co-manager, sponsor, and one of my best pals, but that all come from we're just sort of gelling and getting on and helping each other out. And now, you know, So there are people like that who haven't been with you from your childhood, but just come into your life at the right time.
Yeah.
And there's a reason behind it.
Yeah.
I do genuinely believe there's a reason why people walk into your life and they come in at the right time. And obviously, like I say now, we're at the point we're at. And Mark come into my life at the right time. Giuseppe come into my life at the right time. I'd been told I wouldn't play football. I'd been told that I'll never play football again. Got no GCSEs. I'm unhappy with my life. I thought I would be a footballer. I'm told I'm not going to be a footballer. And there's certain things and certain scenarios and certain people who just come in at the right time for the right reason. And, you know, that's why I feel like when I go into that ring, I'll give 110% for myself and for them who have been there through thick and thin, because I want to offer something back. They're part of this journey, and I want to give them, you know, part of this succession for being part of the journey. And that might be the wrong mindset to have, but that's just me. I want to help others and be.
I don't think it is, but I think that's definitely the words you just said there is the perfect way to finish the podcast with what you've just said. But I just want to thank you, Steve, for coming in today, and I'd love to get you on again.
Definitely, thank you.
After your next fight, but it's been good to meet you.
Really appreciate it.
And now we'll go and grab some nice food together.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you. Cheers,
Well done,
appreciate
Steve.
it.
Cheers,
Thank
mate.
you.